Hello, this is Kate, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Ascended Masters Oracle cards. And this is an Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue, and if you've worked with any of her decks before, this one is very similar to her other decks. And it comes in a nice sturdy cardboard box, and it comes with a book. And her book is actually pretty informative. I really like the companion books that come with her decks. So she's got the beginning of the book, she's got some good info about how to work with these cards, and she's got some tips and everything. So if you're an absolute beginner and you've never worked with cards before, there's lots of good information in here. It's very easy to read, and then she's got the meanings of each card. And at the back, I don't know if she has anything special at the back. No, she doesn't. Okay, so it's a good book. So I've had this deck for a little over a year, and so I've had quite a bit of time to work with it and get to know it. And this deck is similar to her other decks because she's got the gold. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but the edges are gold. So it gives the cards a little bit of a special kind of fancy feel. So I'm just going to go through the deck as I talk about it so you can kind of get a feel for it. And this is the Ascended Masters deck. So each card has an Ascended Master on it. So this one's Jesus and King Solomon. And I really like the artwork on these cards. The images are quite, easy to look at, and each card has a little message on the top. And when I first got this deck, I actually didn't really like it right away. And the reason I didn't like it is I found there was a lot of weird looking guys in this deck. A lot of the men in this deck are like this guy, for example. They're just so their gaze is so like intense, and it just totally and this guy too, like they're just so intense, and it for some reason like totally creeped me out, and I couldn't get over it, and just their faces are just so weird looking. So it took me a long time to get used to the men in this deck, and so for a long time I didn't, and this guy too, he's just, this guy's just bizarre looking. So that's one thing I didn't really like about this deck. I found that really distracting, and I would always feel kind of disappointed when I got one of those cards with a creepy guy on it. And so some of these cards though are like my favorite, like that one is just gorgeous. Here's another guy. And so when I first got this deck, I worked with it for a bit, and then I just felt like there's too many of these guys with the funny mustaches and greasy hair, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I put the deck away, and I didn't work with it for a few months, and then for some reason something kind of called me to start working with it again, and this guy's super creepy. So I started working with it again, and I really liked it, and I found the messages were so clear and concise and direct, and I would ask the deck a question and I would pull, one or two cards, and it would just be so clear what the message was. It was actually amazing, and so I started working with these cards again, and I can honestly say I really enjoy working with them. And it just took me a little bit of getting used to some of the figures in this deck. This is probably my all-time favorite Oracle card out of all the Oracle decks that I own. Freedom. It's a nice one. And so I think this deck is perfect for anyone who has worked with or who has enjoyed Doreen Virtue's other Oracle card decks. I know she has something like 20 decks or something. So if you've worked with her decks before and you like them, this deck is a really nice one. You'll probably enjoy it. And if you're absolutely new to Oracle cards, I think you'd enjoy this deck as well, because it's, you know, the message is right on the card, so it's easy to do a reading with these. Some of her other decks have more writing on the cards, like they'll actually be, you know, a quote or, you know, more guidance or more advice. So this one, she's keeping it pretty simple with just, you know, a few words. I don't remember if I showed you the card backs. The card backs are quite nice. But yeah, it's this deck is well worth getting, it, particularly if you feel some kind of connection to the Ascended Masters, or you're interested in learning more about the Ascended Masters and working with them. This is a good deck to get for that reason. This is a very very spiritual deck, and I suppose all of Doreen Virtue's decks are spiritual, but this one more so than some of her other ones. Like I have her Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck and the Goddess Guidance cards, and these ones I guess have more of a, more of a religious, not religious, but just more of a spiritual energy to them than some of the other decks that I have. But really nice deck to work with. So yeah, so let me know if you have these cards and if you've been working with them and what your experiences have been like, and how you found this deck. Okay, thank you so much for watching.